But why do illusions have such power? Scientists are finding answers in the most surprising of places. For bees, colour is a matter of life and death. They need to distinguish between colours to find the source of their food. And the way bees learn this important lesson can offer us insights into how we perceive.
One of the great things about studying bees is that bees see color much the way that we see it. So they see the same illusions that we see, and yet they do it with only 1 million brain cells, which means that we can actually study how bumblebees see, and in doing so, we can understand how we see.
Dr. Bo Lotto has devised a unique experiment known as the bee matrix, where he uses 64 coloured lights to represent flowers. The aim of the game is to find the sugar reward.
We're training the bees to go to blue flowers as opposed to purple flowers. And the way we do that is reward only the blue flowers, reward being a sugar water, and we don't put any reward into the purple flowers. So if they land on a blue flower, they get a reward, okay? And then they associate that with the color. In the top part of the array, we've got blue flowers surrounded by white flowers. In the bottom part of the array, we have purple flowers also surrounded by white flowers, okay? Only the blue flowers have a sugar reward.
At first, the bees quickly find their reward by learning the difference between the colours. But then things are made more difficult. Using filters, Bo changes the colours, so now the blue and purple flowers look exactly the same. But remarkably, the bees still fly straight to the reward.
So as far as the bee's eye is concerned, those are exactly the same. So if the bees only remembered sort of the color of the stimulus, they should go to both, because they're physically the same. If, however, they've remembered the blue flowers in a context and use that context, they should now only go to the top. And what we've shown is that that's exactly what happens, which means they are using the context. They have remembered and learned the relationships between the colors to solve the puzzle.
So to solve the puzzle, the bees don't just look at the colours in the middle, they also look at the colours that surround them. And it's by comparing the central colours to those on the outside that they are able to detect the true colour. It shows that for bees, colour isn't just seen in isolation. It's entirely dependent on the environment in which it's perceived. And what applies to bees also applies to us, every day of our lives.
So here we have two cubes, except in this case, it looks as if the cube on the left is under yellow light and the cube on the right is under blue light. On the left we have 4 blue tiles, and on the right we have 7 yellow tiles, which are here. Now what's amazing about this illusion is that the blue tiles on the left are exactly the same, physically, as the yellow tiles on the right. They're all in fact grey.
So in this instance, the brain has created colours that simply aren't there. When the other colours are stripped away, we can see the blue and yellow tiles are just grey. Put the scene back, and the colours change back to yellow and blue. It shows that in spite of our strongest instincts, colour is a purely subjective experience, governed by the context in which we see it.
Redness is not a product of the world. Yeah? It doesn't exist unless we're there to make it. Blueness is not a product of the world. Wavelengths are not colored. All they are is little packets of energy called photons. They are not colored. Right? We take that and we make perceptions of them, and those perceptions guide our behavior.
Illusions fool us because, try as we might, we cannot overcome our experience of how we think the world works. And it's these experiences we store in our heads that really determines what we see.
What's amazing is that that information coming from the eyes through the thalamus to the back part of the brain actually only makes up 10% of the overall information that we use to see. The rest of the information comes from other parts of the brain. So only 10% of the information we use to see comes from the eyes.